Coming to you from KPO Studio of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm your host, Darrell Pastor G. Gitron. Get ready for another experience, another episode of Another Brother's Story. So, when did you become connected to or receive the name Agapé? Was it before or after the relationship with the young lady?
It was actually, the relationship had gone down. Like it was at a cut. We cut it, but it was in between, somewhat in the middle. So 2012.
Okay.
I think it was 2012. And that's when I rededicated my life to Christ. And I didn't have to get baptized, but I took the classes and stuff like that for the new members classes and whatnot. And so that name, it was like, whoa, when she was speaking, my spiritual mother, she was speaking, it was just like, it's like, wow, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, this name is very powerful in itself, and it says a lot. And I was thinking to myself, I can remember, can I really take on a name such as this? She told me then, she said, you will accept this name because this is, this name right here is what God, even, he gives us things, right? He gives us the agape. And she said, I can't remember exactly how she put it, but it was to the effect of that if God loves us more, why wouldn't I, or why wouldn't he love me or give me even more? Because it's even, it's like unconditional. And she said that you are unconditional. You show that. You show that in everything that you do. So I said, well, and I said the exact same thing. Wow.
Man, okay, so you received this name in the midst of what you were dealing with this relationship. Okay, and so that's my thing. I'm listening to you, and it's like love needing to be loved.
Yes.
Love not feeling love. Wow. That's deep. When love does not feel love. When love is like, you're not returning love to me. And all of us wants to be loved. We want to be loved, even receive God's love. And many times I make reference to, we are ready to receive God's love, blessings and everything from God. But what are we then giving back to God? It's almost like we forget that even God, he created us for his glory. He wants to know that we love him.
Right.
And with you embodying that, not only the name, but the spirit, which is greater, because you meet many people named Christian and just different names, you're like, dude, you everything but that, it's amazing. Seriously, it is to that you, your spiritual mother not only gave you that you reflect that, and like I said, just watching the videos, you can see that, and you need to know that. You need to know that it is, your light is shining and that it is seen, that you even never go into a dark place or never go into a place of, and I doubt if you will, of uncertainty about what part of your purpose is, and that's definitely a significant part of your purpose, being a reflection of God's love. What has created this, from your perspective, what has created this barrier with you and your daughter's mother? Why is it that you are, because once again here, this embodiment of love, having so much and wanting to, you're lovingly, not probably understanding, but lovingly wanting her to not grow up ever to be at a place of having ill feelings towards her mom. You seem to be at a good place with not having what you want, but dealing with it. What caused all this? Why would somebody like you, why would she, seriously, why do you think she's withholding a daughter from love?
Well, I think that it has a lot to do with because our relationship, of course, it didn't work out, and I can recall her wanting it like after we're already divorced, and I don't want anybody ever get divorced. That's like the biggest thing for me. If I want to get married, I want to get married. I want to stay married. But after the divorce, and my daughter, I can remember that she wanted to have a little gathering, and so we did. And she was like, well, mommy, daddy, when are you coming home, daddy? It's like that right there, it touched me. But as far as my ex-wife, it was more like, okay, she wanted to see if something was still there, and I'm now in a place to where I'm not there anymore. It's like I'm somewhere else. My whole thought is totally different, and so she wanted it so much and so bad, to the point where it was more like she was trying to force me in a way, and I was like, no, I gotta go. I can't stay here because this isn't cool.
She tried to seduce you,
basically. So I had to leave,
right. And
so I was like, well, I'm leaving. I said, but this isn't cool. So I think that has something to do with it. She's not gonna sit here and tell me, it has a lot to do with trying to spend time, because if I'm reaching out, I'm sending emails, I'm doing everything that I know to do because I don't have your number, and I've asked for your number, you just won't give it to me. I mean, what do you want from me? I mean, I can only do so much. So that has a lot, or a small snippet of what it is. And coming from her, I really don't know.
Right.
I really don't know. She could be thinking of something else. So, but that's just my view on it.
So you only have her email?
Yeah.
You don't know where she lives?
I know where she lives.
You know where she lives?
Yes.
Okay.
So.
She lives in Atlanta?
She lives in Canton, Georgia.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have a number though?
I don't have her number for her.
When was the last time you talked to your daughter?
The last time I spoke with my daughter, so you know what? It's almost been a year and a half. And that's all. I think her mom has so much resentment. That should never take place when you're using your child and putting that child in the midst of whatever you're dealing with. That's unfair. That's not right. And so I think that's what she's doing now. You're hurting me, but you're not hurting me as bad as you're hurting my daughter. So.
How does that make you feel though? I mean, that every day that goes by, like I said, you sound like me talking, but this is your story, and you are being a blessing as I'm hearing you, and the many other guys, as well as females listening, they're gonna be blessed with how authentic you're being, real, transparent, and everything. But at the same time, just where you are now, what you're able to embody now, the joy you still have now in the midst. So it's not what I don't shout after it's over, but I still have this joy while I'm going through. I'm dealing with it still, and that's I'm meeting you. That's where you are. That's what you resemble. What is it that keeps you? How do you feel from day to day? I know God keeps you going from day to day. He's the one who keeps you. Mental, practical things. What do you do from day to day? Does it get easier day to day? Does it get worse? It's a year and a half. What's going on in your mind and with your emotions?
Sometimes I'm all over the place, and I have to pull myself together. I have to really think about things, and I'm like, okay, Agapé, look, this is what you're dealing with. You cannot allow this to stop you from getting to the next step or next phase with your daughter. Eventually, it will take place.
That's right.
So I have to keep feeding myself positive.
Right.
I don't want to feed myself negative,
Right.
because more negative is gonna just eat you up and eat away at you, and you likely you may do something that you might regret.
Right. Right.
So right now, she has this moment, but in the long run,
Oh man, gosh, she's so
in the long run,
awesome.
yes, in the
Yes.
long run,
Right.
I think that God takes care of His own,
He does.
and so I can't hold any grudges.
Right.
I'm not gonna be bitter.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, and I'm gonna keep blessing people,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna keep doing what God tells me to do, and I'm just gonna keep loving,
Yeah.
even when she can't show that love. I'm gonna keep loving, and that's what keeps me going.
So you wouldn't think that she say, "Oh, he's a Jekyll and Hyde." Y'all see him as love, and he, does she know your name, Agapé?
She doesn't know. Well, she probably does, because she's probably actually looked on my page now. But she calls me by my first name.
Okay.
She knows me by my first name.
Okay.
And so
Y'all call him love, but I know another side of him. Is there a Jekyll and Hyde there?
no, I don't think. Maybe before.
Right.
But this is what you see is now what you get. You're gonna get raw. You're gonna get. Sometimes it's gonna be hard. Sometimes I'm like sugar and spice.
Right.
And so you get a little bit of everything. It's not. I mean, I'm created of good and evil.
Right.
Okay. I have a good side. I have a bad side.
Right.
Everybody does.
Yes.
And
Nice.
you might get the good side. Sometimes you might get the bad side. But in all. You're gonna feel and understand where I'm coming from. So
Awesome. This desire, this love of fatherhood, and this desire to just father, and the joy that come upon you, even when you speak about your daughter. One, you wouldn't think that she wasn't biologically yours, okay? And then two, you wouldn't think that there was such a distance, because of what you personified immediately, and speaking about her, that shows a spiritual connection. That means that you are still so, intimately connected to her, which is awesome, which is good. How is your relationship with your dad?
Oh, that's a different story. My dad and I've always yearned for his love. I've always yearned for, to be comforted, to be loved by him, to be wanted by him. My desire, even until this day, even though we are not as close, I still desire that. I still yearn that, and we are not close like I would have always wanted since I was a little kid. I think we spoke on this one previously when I expressed how my sisters, they would have their fathers, and I'm sitting there and they're going off, and I'm here at the house. I literally would cry because I didn't have that.
Right.
I mean, I'm all alone. Even my cousins, they speak so good. My dad's doing this with us. We're going here. We're doing that, and I could see myself crying, literally crying, just tears just pouring for me, because I didn't have that. I always wanted it, but I just never had it. And so it was rough for me as a child with dealing with that. Yeah, my mother, she had boyfriends and stuff, and I was like, yes, maybe he can be my dad. And that never worked out. So, it's just, for me, I had to just embrace what wasn't and still show love, even though I wasn't given love. So, it's been rough.
People don't understand, and I'm telling you, I talk with people all the time, and just ministering for going on 36 years now. I've come in contact with so many people, young and old, guys who have yearned, still yearn, the question marks there regarding their dad. One of my young leaders, the youth at my church, his mother just recently got married, and he was coming up in a single parent home, and he did have opportunity to go with his dad at some time or whatever, but it was something about him and his brother now getting a dad that was gonna be in the home. And I was like, how do you feel, about your mom getting married and everything? He's like, man, I'm the dad, a dad, and he was just lit up, and I was like, wow, and a lot of fathers don't understand, that desire, that need, and how the male child, I know the female as well, but that male child, because he's needing to pull from somebody that sounds like him, that looks like him, and even though that that boy doesn't understand fully why it is, but that's the way God created it. You know what I'm saying? And so there's something that you have that I need, and you are the embodiment of me, whatever. So, wow, you that's heavy. One watching your siblings go off with their fathers, and they come back with such joy and probably gifts and stuff like that they receive, and then your cousins as well, and then you there feeling abandoned, alone,
rejected, afraid, not knowing.
How old were you?
I was from the time I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
And I'm seeing these things, and it's like, wow, okay. As I grew up, it hurt. It seemed like it really cut me so deep as, when I got much older.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, but I remember this one time, though, my dad, I just had to let him have it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, he was supposed to, for my prom, my senior prom.
Okay.
And he said that he was going to do all these things and things like that. I said, you know something? And when he didn't do it, I was like, I asked you to do one thing, and you couldn't follow through with it. I said, yeah, you're my dad, but I'm going to teach you how to be a dad eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but, this hurts me to my core. I said, I don't want anything ever from you. I said, but, this right here just shows me that you really didn't want what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but I'm going to keep loving you because you're my dad. And I'm going to keep fighting for you. It tore him up because I'm still fighting for you even though you couldn't fight for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you didn't want me. And you even told my mother, hey, he's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him say it. They didn't realize this, but I heard him say it, that I wasn't his son. That tore me up even more because I'm like, really? So I continue to love, even though he didn't show love. I continue to try to support or to try and communicate with him, even though he doesn't reach out to me, even though he doesn't do anything remotely what you think a father should do or supposed to be like or whatnot. And I continue to do those things because I'm showing you how to be a father and you never knew how.
Mm-hmm.
So it's challenging at times, and I just live through it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to accept and not to hate, because hate that's not good. I'd rather love you than hate you any day.
Do you think that, first of all, how old is your dad?
My dad now he's close to 60, if not 60.
Okay. Do you think, and you are how old again?
I'm 38.
38, right, okay. Well, do you think that maybe do you know, or has he expressed to you any reason that he's not able or don't want to give you what you're needing, what you're wanting?
He doesn't know how.
He doesn't know. You know that he doesn't know how.
I know that he doesn't know how to give it to me.
Right.
Or he doesn't know how to be a father. It's because he had a father, and I think his resentment or his need, because my grandfather passed away a long time ago, and my grandfather, he passed away from heartbreak because one of my uncles and my grandmother were killed in a car accident when they were young back. I think it was 80s or 70s or something like that. It was way before I was born, and he died from heartbreak. And so he just doesn't. I just feel that he just doesn't know how to, or he just feels like maybe he wasn't shown how to be a father. So I think he's scared, and it's okay to be scared.
Okay, so when you spoke to him, you let him have it or share what was his response?
He couldn't believe it. He was shocked that I was speaking to him in the way that I was speaking. But he needed to hear it. And so he was so upset, and then he hung up, and then I never heard from him after that point.
Right.
And I reached out to him again.
Right.
And that was like a year or two later.
Right.
So it was always me reaching out
to him.
Yes.
Okay. And so the last time you've talked to him has been when?
It was around June, maybe May of this year.
Okay. How was that conversation?
It's like, hey, how you doing? Da, da, da. It was just general stuff, It wasn't like, hey, I want to meet you. Can we hang out? It wasn't like that or anything like that. It was just like, okay.
How long did it last?
Conversation was maybe about 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so y'all have not gotten together. When was the last time y'all got together? Just you and your father?
It's never just been me and my father. There's always been another entity in the mix. Spending quality time, not a strong suit for him.
You got to get up out of my diary. Dude, I am serious. Lord have mercy. But this is refreshing for me. It's a blessing to me. You're actually helping me, really. And like I said, so many people. But I'm just, wow. The way God does things, and so I'm just like, yeah. So, the last time you were in His presence.
Last time I was in my father's.
And how was that?
Oh well, the last time I was in my prison, that was awful because. Now, mind you, we were supposed to be spending time together, but like I say, another entity or what he wanted to do, smoking weed and drinking, that's not my thing.
Right.
And I'm trying to spend quality time with you. So it was 2000, I want to say 2011, 2012. That's, yeah. Since he and I, at least, but I take that back. No, I would go visit after that point to where, not just the one or trying to have one-on-one. I would go visit. The last time I visited his place was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And
why you went?
I went because I wanted to see him. I wanted to see how he was doing, if he needed anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went by to check on him, and because he has a girlfriend, they live together. And so just seeing him, I was good, seeing him, and everything. It's just, for me, I had to kind of be like, okay, well, you just kind of suck it up and don't try to overdo things. And so when I go see him, it's like, hey Pops, what's up? How you doing? What's been going on with you? And we can speak, we can talk. I stay there about 20-30 minutes, and then I'm off again. And I won't see her for another maybe 6 months. So, and I try to keep the communication, but it's challenging at times.
Would you say there's a little boy in there that's still saying, hug me, Dad, spend time with me, Dad, I still want my dad?
I think so. I mean, he gives me a hug here and there, but he thinks, oh, macho. I don't give hugs. Oh. But my dad, he's, he'll do it. But to love me the way I need him to love me, he probably won't ever do it. So I just have to take what I can get and take that and use it.
That brings me to this question. There seems to be a pattern with probably people not being able to give you the love you need or the way you need it. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's something that you are, and you might be about to help me, okay, with this, all right, or whatever. So, do you think that maybe there is something, A or B, A, that you're giving and giving freely, yet you're not getting it back, and so you are measuring it or probably comparing it to that level of what you're giving? Or do you think that maybe you are requiring, or needing something that no one person probably can give you? What have you thought about this, and where are you with this?
Well, I think that my requirements it's not as high as maybe it should be when it comes to the love and having that support, things like that. But the desire for something greater, when it comes to, I think that if I would receive the love that I need, then I think that it would probably be a little bit better. But now with my dad, that's totally different. I would love for him to give me that love, don't get me wrong. But for me, I think when I start to see certain things, like when I start to see people, I know how I am. I will pull away sometimes when I see people trying to give me the love that what I think I need. I pull away, and the only reason I think is because I'm afraid. I'm so afraid to just let it go and just get the love that I think or I should get. So I pull away, and I'm like, whoa, that's kind of heavy there. Sometimes we do things we may not even recognize it, but we do it, and then later on in life you're like, whoa, wait a minute, that was what I truly needed.
Oh man, you make me listen. You are going to, because of the seeds you sow, okay, you're going to connect with people and meet with people. May not be a lot, but with people who connect with your spirit and who are going to. It's amazing how we pray for something, then when it comes, we're pushing it away or stepping away from it. Sometimes because I guess we didn't get that neon sign that said this is it, so we're uncertain, So you're gonna get it in return. There are gonna be people that's gonna give it back to you. You can't reject it, or you'll never taste what you've been given out. You never taste what you're supposed to receive. You'll never taste love. Will never get that love, that unconditional love back with her, because people are gonna tap into your spirit and they're gonna want to love you, because you are love. It's almost like when you think about God, He's love, and so I'm just grateful to Him. I worship Him just because He's love, because He's good, And so that's what happens when a person genuinely understands and they're respected. They're gonna want to do that. So, what are you gonna do about that? Are you gonna keep running away and shying away, yet not getting it fulfilled? Because it'll come in the way of, it may be some family member. Sometimes it'll be a buddy or a friend. And it comes in different ways, different avenues. So, and I'm the kind of person, like, for instance, I used to tell. I even have a real good friend, Michael Edie, and and I would bust him aside the head sometimes because I love, you know, friends long years, right? And he always wanted to, but I found out that he was, especially as we got older, that he was receiving my love on a whole different level, you know. So he wouldn't let me give him like money at different times to help with gas or just different things, you know. Iron sharpens iron. We got each other's back kind of thing, you know. Oh, y'all do that, you know, whatever, you know. But he was. I found out that my optimism, my inspiration, and my words of encouragement, and different things, you know, and my own personal tenacity was really blessing him. You know, he, you know, shared this with me later, but it ended. And because of how I shared with him, he felt loved by me, even though he wasn't letting me show it in other ways I wanted to show it. Going back, I guess, to love language, you know. So. And I would tell him, man, don't do that. This is my way of trying to show you I love you. You know, don't, you know, yeah, I don't need that. I said, but you can't let me do this, you know. And so, even with buddies, you battle, you know, sometimes. Yet, come to find out, he was wanting and needing, but I guess he was also getting it in a different way. So, all of that. How are you going to deal with this issue, and are you working through it? Are you working with it? How do you talk to yourself, whatever, so that you can receive what's coming back to you, what has to come back to you?
So yes, I've had to, like we spoke on this before, accepting humility, because that plays a lot.
It does.
It plays a big part.
It does.
So I now
So wise.
Now what I do
So wise.
is I embrace it.
Right. Okay.
I can't not embrace it. It just keeps coming. It keeps coming. So the more love that flows, the more love I give, the more love it is pushed out in return.
Right.
So I embrace it now. Before it's like,
Not so much.
hold up, wait,
Right.
you know. So it's kind of like now I embrace any and everything that comes my way, you know, because it may not be the way that I would want it to be,
Right.
but it may be in a way that it needs to be,
Right.
and God shows you that.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's good. That's powerful right there.
so yeah, so I accept it, I receive it, and you know, I embrace it.
Right.
And so that's what I've been doing, and it's been so much better. It's like that song I was telling you about, better. Just
Right.
everything's been so much better.
Right.
Eyes are clear.
Right.
My soul, my spirit, man,
Right.
so much clearer now. So
I know the feeling, the silence is deafening, but in your pain lies a blessing, a sweet and sour victory. So keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No matter who you are, see there's one